The trap of emotional attachment. Have you ever felt overwhelmed by emotional attachment? So entangled in a connection with someone or something that it begins to dominate your thoughts and decisions? If so, you're not alone. Emotional attachment, while deeply human, can become a burden when it starts to control your inner peace. We find ourselves caught in repetitive cycles seeking validation, fearing loss, and struggling to let go. But here's the silver lining: change is possible. More than that, it's within your reach. Drawing from the timeless wisdom of Stoic philosophers like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca, this guide will explore how Stoicism offers a transformative path to emotional freedom. Detachment isn't about apathy or indifference. It's about seeing life with clarity and acting with purpose. By applying these Stoic teachings, you can free yourself from the mental and emotional chains that keep you stuck and step boldly into a more grounded, peaceful life. 1. Why detachment matters. Reclaiming control. Detachment often gets a bad reputation. Many interpret it as giving up or not caring, but in reality, Stoic detachment is about regaining control over your own emotions. When we cling too tightly to people, outcomes, or circumstances, we essentially hand them the remote to our emotional lives. We allow others to dictate our happiness, sadness, and even our sense of self-worth. Think of your emotions as a kite. Every attachment is like a string tied to something external. The more strings you grip, or the tighter you hold them, the more susceptible you become to emotional turbulence. Stoicism teaches us that while we can't control the wind, to practice detachment, start by identifying who or what you're overly attached to. We can decide which strings to hold. Then ask yourself why. Are you afraid of being alone? Are you seeking approval or external validation? By understanding the root of your attachment, you can begin loosening its grip. Then, fill your life with activities that foster purpose and joy. 2. Understanding attachment, ego versus essence. To understand emotional attachment, we must look inward towards the ego. As children, we live from a place of love. A newborn baby radiates joy and connection, untouched by fear or pride. But as we grow, our ego develops. It begins to drive our desire for validation, safety, status, and recognition. The ego makes us cling to people, ideas, and outcomes, distorting our natural ability to love freely and live authentically. Attachment is the ego's game. It says, I need this person to feel whole, or without this relationship, I am nothing. But this thinking is an illusion. Detachment begins when we return to our true essence: love, not fear. Imagine a life where your happiness is not tied to another person's actions or opinions, a life where you trust in the abundance of the universe, and know that what is meant for you will come. So how do you begin this shift? First, acknowledge your attachment for what it is, a reflection of the ego's insecurity. Then, remind yourself that your worth is not tied to any external source. It's inherent. It's already within you. With daily mindfulness and self-reflection, detachment becomes not a loss but a return to your truest self. 3. Breaking the illusion of the ego. One of the biggest lies the ego tells us is that someone else holds the key to our completeness. We compare, idealize, and idolize. We scroll through curated social media feeds and feel less than, believing others have something we lack. But here's the truth. We are all equally human, equally flawed, and equally deserving of love. No one is above you. No one completes you. When we idolize others, we diminish ourselves and we build attachments based on fantasy rather than reality. Stoicism encourages us to see others and ourselves through a lens of equality. Everyone plays a role in our journey, just as we play a role in theirs, but no one's presence should define your worth. The Stoics taught us to focus on what we can control: our perceptions, actions, and character. Detachment is not about shutting out love, it's about letting go of the illusion that someone else is responsible for your happiness. That power has always been yours. When you truly internalize this, you develop emotional strength. You're no longer desperate to hold on. Instead, you're free to love fully without fear, without clinging. 4. Practicing detachment, letting go with grace. Practicing detachment doesn't mean we suppress our feelings or deny our humanity. It means we choose to release control over what we cannot change. It means we stop holding on so tightly to the past or the fear of missing out. Think of it like gripping a rope. The longer you hold, the more it hurts. Letting go isn't a fall, it's a release, a chance to reach for something better. Many people stay in comfort zones, relationships, jobs, situations out of fear. But comfort is not always peace. Sometimes it's the prison disguised as safety. The modern world world feeds our attachments. Social media, comparison, and curated lifestyles make us believe we're always missing out. But these are illusions. The grass only looks greener from a distance. Up close, it has its own flaws, struggles, and dry patches. Letting go of attachment means embracing your own life. Not someone else's story, but yours. It's realizing that happiness isn't about chasing someone else's dream, it's about creating your own. So focus on what's within your control. Your thoughts, your growth, your actions. Build a life that reflects your values, not your fears. That's real freedom. 5. The path to lasting happiness. Where does true happiness come from? Stoicism teaches us that the answer is simple, yet powerful. From within. When we tie our happiness to someone else's presence or approval, we give away our emotional power. We make ourselves small, dependent on external forces. But your value doesn't rise or fall based on someone else's attention. You are already whole. Imagine life as a garden. You don't beg one flower to grow. You nourish the soil, tend to the plants, and let nature take its course. In the same way, focusing on self-development and self-compassion builds a life of beauty regardless of who stays or leaves. Detachment doesn't mean isolation. It means building a life that is so full, so rich, and so aligned with your inner truth that no single absence can make you feel empty. You are not a puzzle missing a piece, you are a masterpiece in progress. Let Stoicism guide you. Focus on your character, your wisdom, and your actions. This is the foundation of lasting happiness. Detachment isn't about losing love, it's about loving without fear, without chains, and without conditions.